Holy cow. 6 months without social media. I can't believe it's already been 6 months. This is crazy. That's insane.
Wait a second. How exactly did I get here? Let's back it up. Let's back it way up. You remember 2012, right? The London Olympics. Obama is re-elected. Facebook went public. And, oh yeah, a bunch of people thought the world was going to end.
The end is coming next year.
Yeah. That happened.
And yours truly was entering grade 7 and was about to get something I had been begging my parents to allow me to have. A Facebook account.
Do you remember when you opened up your very first social media account? The rush of excitement as you added your friends and found them and followed them to see what kind of posts they were looking at. And then you dreamed up your very first post. Mine was this, by the way. It was so fun to get the chance to connect with your friends at home, online. My family had a desktop computer, and I was only allowed to go on it a few times a week, and that was the time when I got to log on to Facebook. And I could see what everyone else was doing. And for a few short minutes during the week, oh, those were glorious moments when I could scroll through the Facebook feed. And there weren't really ads in those days either. It seemed like everything was just a new fun post by someone I was friends with. This, I believe, was the original intention of social media platforms. A restricted amount of time, a few times a week, to connect with people you wouldn't otherwise connect with. You have to remember that when Facebook was invented, the first iPhone hadn't even come out yet. When Mark Zuckerberg originally created it, he had no idea that it could become an app on an iPhone. And for me, this worked great. I had a few times a week when I could log on to the family desktop computer and get my precious Facebook time. I don't really remember having a big problem with social media during junior high and high school. Even when I got my very first iPod Touch, I can't remember it consuming my life. What I can remember though, is that later in high school, I got my very first smartphone. And slowly and surely, year by year, I found myself staring at it just a little bit more. Somewhere along the line, and to be honest, I have no idea when, I came to be on Facebook, Instagram, and for a short time Snapchat for a large portion of my day. And it wasn't just the fact that I spent so much time on it. It was the fact that I had to check it every 5 minutes, hoping for some sort of new notification to pop up, some new dopamine hit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think at some point I probably would have characterized myself as being addicted to it, although I wouldn't have known it at the time. It's just what everybody did, right? It's how you stay informed about the world. It's how you see what your friends are doing. It's how you watch the latest funny viral video that's going around. To me, it was just viewed as innocent fun. It was around this time, however, that I realized this habit probably had some detriments to it. Not only did it take my time, which was bad enough, but it seemed to take my meaning. Staring at a screen all day would leave me feeling guilty, shameful, and frankly, a bit empty. I no longer really truly connected with my friends like I used to. I didn't need to. I could see what they were up to just by scrolling through an Instagram feed or my Facebook feed. I didn't have that same desire to reach out and have a good time. Everything that I needed to know about the world was right there on my screen. But that didn't satisfy. So I started fighting back a little bit. I would delete the app from my phone. I even a few times deactivated my accounts for 30 days just to see what it felt like to go without it. But I always found myself coming back. To me, it really was like a slot machine that I couldn't resist. I couldn't seem to just get away for good. That was until this past summer when I read 2 books that changed my life. Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport and The Shallows by Nicholas Carr are 2 absolutely wonderful books. And more than anything, it was these 2 books that pushed me over the edge. And on August 1st, 2020, I permanently deleted my Instagram and Facebook. I can literally remember shaking while I did it. I was so scared. I can remember thinking about all the people I'd accumulated as friends on these platforms over the years, and how now I had no way to contact them except if I had their phone number, which wasn't a lot of them. But let me share with you what happened next. I started creating higher quality YouTube videos. I got a 4.0 GPA at school, the first time I'd ever done that. I started building a business and a website with a friend, and I stopped having to check my phone every 5 minutes for a new notification. And perhaps most importantly of all, I actually started to have real, authentic connections again. I called up people I hadn't talked to in ages and had a good old-fashioned chat with them, just to see what they were up to, because I could no longer figure out what they were up to just by scrolling through my social media feed. I actually went on hikes and played sports and did all these sorts of things that, yes, I had done before. But this time I was so much more intentional with my friendships. I could actually just be in the moment with them without having to worry about what was happening on my social media feed. I loved it. And I'm not saying all this happened because I deleted social media. I'm sure some of it would have happened nonetheless. But what I am saying is that since I deleted social media, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders that I cannot fathom ever putting back on again. And even though it was so scary, and I can remember panicking while I hit that delete button, it was perhaps one of the best decisions of my life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button and tap that like button. And if you really enjoyed it, perhaps even share it. You guys are the reason why I do this. See you next time.